Welcome to episode 2 of the Shane Fletcher Show, sponsored by Hidden Grove RV Park. My name's Scotty Mahan of Tomahawk Sports Media. Joining us is Honey Grove Warrior AD head coach Shane Fletcher. Coach, congratulations on Week 1 victory over the Hugo Buffaloes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's a great win.
So before we get started, you got on this beautiful blue shirt, and let's talk about it a little bit.
Well, the school district, Honey Grove ISD, they wanted everybody to wear blue today in honor of the families over there in Rains that have been affected by the accident. So we all wore blue.
Gotcha. So once again, your defense throws a shutout. The offense was led by 4-star junior running back Marlin Morris. Morris accounted for 105 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns. And then he had a receiving touchdowns for 75 yards from quarterback Jarrmez Daniels. What can you say about the game on Friday night?
Honey Grove came in here and they were a scrappy bunch. They ran the football on us as well as anybody has in a long time. And, they were very scrappy. They were huge up front, had a good scheme, good run game. Offensively, when I came in, Bonham had some success doing some things to us, and I was wanting to see if they were going to follow that same blueprint. I just wanted something safe on that first play so I could see what they were going to do and how they were going to line up, and I was just going to throw a little flare to Ryland. It was an easy read, and out to Brody and flare to Ryland. And anyway, Mass throws to Ryland, and 75 yards later, he's standing in the end zone. That's just what kind of kid he is.
So the defense scored 2 touchdowns, one by Asher Price with the scoop and score, and then Levi Beavers with the 96-yard pick 6. What was your thoughts on how your defense played Friday night?
There was times that, we had that bend but don't break mentality, but there was times, when Coach Mack he sent the dogs, and, Kendall Wolf comes through on a B-gap stunt and timed it just perfect and knocked the ball free from the quarterback. Asher scooped and scored. And Levi's pick 6, they were down inside the 5 and got a penalty, moved them back to the 10, and they tried to throw a ball out to the flat, and Levi just stepped in front of it and had a wall of blockers. Kendall had a knockout shot going down the sideline on that one. It was huge. Those were huge plays.
So we're going to show those 2 clips real quick.
Oh, my gosh, there's a fumble. He's going to get it. Price is going to the end zone. He's still on his feet. That's a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you see the hat go up in there?
Yeah. There's the pass.
Oh, it's intercepted. Beavers, he's going. There's the 30, the 40. He's got a good block by Kendall Wolf, and that's all the way to the end zone.
So moving along, we're going to take a minute. We're going to watch a preview of the Marlin Bulldogs. That's who we're going to face Friday night in Roy City at 7:30.
I haven't seen this.
Fox 44 out of Waco did a preview on them, so we'll go ahead and watch that.
Back under those Friday night lights with a new era in Marlin, with former defensive coordinator Jeff Rogers taking over the program he already knows so well. The challenge is to get the Bulldogs back to competing for not only district championships, but state championships as well. It should be a seamless transition, with the Bulldogs returning 7 starters in 2024 on both sides of the ball, as Marlin sets their expectations high to represent for the city.
It's been going good so far. We're still learning new plays, getting used to them, but I feel we're going to be great going into the season. It takes a lot of dedication and knowing that we got to get back to what we once was, because we're held to a higher standard than most of the other schools around us.
Over my years of coaching, I've always had some jobs that I thought were top jobs, and Marlin's always been that kind of place, and I had the opportunity to come here as a coordinator, and now I've gotten the honor to take over the program, and super excited about it, but nothing's changed. I mean, we got one goal, and that's to win state championships. We advance in the playoffs, we go 3 and 4 rounds, but the community, the school district, and our players, we want to be able to put a ring on our finger, and that's what we prepare for, and that's how we play every day.
So this week you face 0-1 Marlin Bulldogs in Roy City. Like I said, Friday night, 7:30. We're the home team, but they lost the home opener against 3A Lexington, 27-12. They were the regional finalists last year. They played Toller, I believe, in the regional finals.
Yes, sir.
Got beat there. Toller went on to get beat by eventual state champion Timpson Bulldogs in the state championship. But
Timpson Bears.
What'd I say?
Bulldogs.
I got Bulldogs on my mind. Timpson Bears, okay. So they're under a new head coach, elevating the defensive coordinator, Jeff Rogers, to the head role. So what can we expect Friday night playing Marlin?
Marlin's a very athletic football team. They got a defensive lineman / offensive lineman that's as good as we'll see all year. I mean, he's the real deal, about 290 pounds. We're going to have to be physical on both sides of the ball. Like I said, they're extremely athletic at every skill position. But we're going to have to be sound and play Honey Grove Warrior football. You know, if we do, I don't think they've seen a defense quite like we have. You know, with the things that we do and the movements that we do. I think it could pose some problems for them.
So I saw today just two things, just water cooler talk, but Dave Campbell has us as being the favorite by 12 points. And then on the Dave Campbell's Friday Night app, someone got on there and said if Honey Grove can stop them in the trenches and have them turn the ball over 2 to 3 times, Honey Grove wins 14 to 21 points.
You know what? I try not to get into that stuff, and I try and tell my kids not to get into all that stuff. But, you know, one thing that needs to be noted, Lexington is ranked in 3A. They're ranked in the top 10 of 3A. And Marlin threw 2 pick sixes. If they hadn't thrown those 2 pick sixes, that's a different ball game.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is an outstanding football team we're about to play. And, you know, we want to do this. This was, you know, something that we needed before we got to district, you know, before we got to the playoffs, hopefully, if we get to the playoffs. You know, we need to see these kind of teams before then. So that's why this game's happening.
Well, I'm excited. I'm
excited too.
I know it's. So let's move along into something that really gets you excited, and that's Oklahoma Sooner football.
Oh, boomer!
Were you? I mean, I don't imagine you were able to watch the game Friday night because you were putting that whooping on Hugo. But
yeah, no, I didn't get to see any of it.
So I got Mez over here throwing horns up, Austin throwing horns down. So we know what the team is in your house. Is anybody else a fan of any other team?
Oh no,
all Sooners.
It's all
Okay.
It's all Sooners in my house.
All right. So Saturday they take on Houston at home. Do you plan on seeing those guys a little bit or watching that game?
You know, we work every Saturday, and I don't. It depends on what time it comes on. I didn't even look. You know, if it's on when I get home, yeah, shoot, I'm gonna watch it. If not, you know, I'll see the highlights on the ESPN.
Right.
I'm just worried about the next week in our program.
I know. I know you're not that type to sit there and watch somebody else play. I know you'd rather watch your team play and watch your videos and then watch the next week's opponent. So I know how that goes up here on a Saturday. But your Oklahoma Sooners go into the SEC along with Texas, and so they're going to be playing the likes of Alabama, Georgia eventually. But how do you feel like those two teams are going to do against the SEC?
You know, both of them I think improved this year. That they've really tried to ramp up their defense, and you know, Oklahoma they've done a good job recruiting that side of the football. They got an outstanding quarterback, Jackson Arnold. You know, time will tell. Time will tell. I mean, the SEC is one of them gauntlets, you know, that you're going to have to play every week. If not, you're going to get your head busted. And you know, Texas looks outstanding. They look outstanding right now defensively, which I'm not a Texas fan, but I will, you know, give it when it's due. They look really good right now.
Did you watch any Alabama?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Well, so tomorrow night you got some guys that are Leonard alumni and Honey Grove alumni that are going to be playing for Southeastern, and they're going to take on Southern Arkansas in the season opener at Paul Lard Field at 6 o'clock. You know, you got DJ Brown, you got Braden Harris, and you got our very own Dion Morris on that Savage Storm team. You know, what would be the message, or are you going to talk to those guys tomorrow, or are you?
You know, I text those guys periodically, and periodically they text me. You know, I tell them fast feet, stay healthy, and go win a football game.
You know, because I think DJ's got. I mean, he's starting running back.
far as I know.
Okay.
Far as I know.
What about Braden? Braden getting into the mix? Or
I really don't know how much Braden's going to play. I mean, he's an outstanding football player. I know he's done a good job in the weight room and got his body bigger and ready for this stuff. So I'm hoping he gets a lot of snaps.
I don't know how you get that body bigger. I mean, that kid was –
he's a dude.
He's a dude. I mean, we saw him in powerlifting a couple of years ago, and I mean, he was a dude. I don't think I would want to meet him in an alley.
He's a dude, no doubt, no doubt.
So let's have a little fun here. We're going to do some college pick'em. I just want to make sure everybody knows this is strictly for fun.
Right.
Do not take this as gambling advice whatsoever. So we're going to start keeping up with this weekly. We're going to keep your score. We're going to keep my score.
Okay.
And at the end of the year, let's make a little wager. Loser buys barbecue.
That'll work.
That'll work. So the first game we got Texas going up to Michigan. Who you got there?
You know, I would like to say there's a huge advantage for Michigan being in the big house, but, you know, coaching change, culture change. Texas is playing really good football right now. I'm going to have to go with the Longhorns.
Gotcha. I'll take Longhorns as well. And then our next game is Arkansas and Oklahoma State.
You know, I'm a Sooner fan every week of the year unless they're playing – or I'm an Oklahoma State fan every week of the season unless they're playing Oklahoma. We call them Little Brother where I grew up.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you. I saw a little bit of that Arkansas team last week, and I think they're outstanding. Now, of course, you know, Oklahoma State's got an outstanding running back coming back and quarterback's been there like 7 years. But I think I'm going to go Arkansas.
All right. I'll go Oklahoma State. Hey, I like Oklahoma State. I mean, we've got a kid that I know, Marlin Lopez. He's signed to go there, and I'm looking for big things out of Marlin once he gets up to Oklahoma State.
Idabel kid, right?
Yeah. Yep. And then we got UC Davis versus Texas A&M Commerce.
UC Davis. You know, the A&M Commerce is so young in the in the Division I level stuff. It's tough for them right now to keep up, and UC Davis has been there and done that. So
yeah. I'll go Texas A&M Commerce.
I knew you would.
Well, I mean, they were tied in the game against San Diego State last week. I mean, it was tied at halftime. So I'll have to go with them. And then you got Utah and Baylor.
I
mean, Rylan Morris is not in here, so
yeah. If Rylan's in here, I'll probably have to go sick him. But I think Utah probably is a better football team at this point right now.
All right, I'll take Utah as well. And then you got Tulane and then Kansas State. This could be an upset here.
You know, well, as good as Tulane's been playing the last several years, I don't know if you could ever call it an upset, but quarterback run game, Kansas State, give me Kansas State.
All right, I'll take Tulane. All right, so we're going to get into what I call it's going to be a hot take, and I'll probably get some feedback on this. And so let's talk a little bit about college sports in the NIL. Okay. Let me get my paper here because I've done my homework a little bit. But you know, we got NIL, transfer portal, and you know, basically, I was listening to a lot of games, and all I heard was this player used to be at this school, this player used to be at this school. You know, that's all I heard.
Right.
You know, it's not like it used to be. And then Texas the high school is one of 11 states that does not allow NIL. And so I'm mixing all this stuff together, okay? And there's actually a state bill that prohibits any athlete in the state of Texas for receiving funds for NIL. Do you know that?
No.
Yep. So NIL stands for name, image, and likeness and refers to the rights of a college and high school athletes to profit from their identity. So do you think that the NIL has helped or harmed the college football landscape?
Well, I mean, there's going to be instances, of course, where it's both ways. You know, I've been saying for years that I thought, you know, college athletes should be able to be paid. Let me say this: as a former college athlete, you know, people say, well, you know, they get a free education. You're correct, but those kids can't go out and get a job. That is their job, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're a college football player, and with the meetings and practice and I mean, they don't have time. So I think they do deserve that. Plus, I mean, there's universities making, millions of dollars off their jersey numbers. And, I think they should get now, should there be a cap on that? Probably so, because, it's turning into, the rich get rich and the poor get poor type deal. But, there probably needs to be a cap on that. But, I think there's some pluses and minuses to it for sure.
So I saw today, I was reading this article about he's a freshman in Alabama of the 2027 class, and he got offered a 7-figure deal.
Wow.
To transfer to another high school from a card company. And this kid won state in 8th grade. I don't know what the rules are to where you can play high school sports in different states. I know a rule in high school baseball up in Oklahoma, you can play junior high as long as your head coach is like your principal or something like that. But how do you think, and I think about this from a team aspect, if Texas were allowed to pay high school athletes, how would that change the dynamic of a 2A team? Now, I'm not talking those 6As or 5As. I'm talking like a 2A team.
Well, once again, I think it's kind of, where you're at. If you're in Fannin County opposed to Collin County, it's going to be a huge difference, just because of the funding period. But I can't ever see that happening here.
Yeah.
I mean, never say never, but Texas is pretty strict on their rules and the transfer stuff and all that. I mean, it would be tough for that to happen in Texas.
You see what's happening now. These Texas guys are going out of state and playing for other schools that allow the NIL, and so I hope that day never comes in high school. I mean, I'm okay with it in college.
If you look at the national top 10, there's still 5 Texas schools in that national top 10.
So they ain't going too far.
They're not hurting too bad.
So when you played at Southeastern, and this goes back to the transfer portal, and a guy didn't get reps, what would he do? Would he pack up his stuff and go home, or suck it up, or?
It was both. We had a lot of kids that didn't make it. Our off season was grueling. We lost a lot of kids during our off season, but during the season we called it the midnight train. You'd wake up in the morning, their dorm room be empty. But that's all about perseverance, and that's what we try and teach these kids.
Has that changed how college recruits high school players now? Do you see, I mean, I know you do just because we have the likes of Rylan Morris here, but do you see less coaches coming through here just because there's a transfer portal?
Well, no. I mean, we had more this spring than Honey Grove's ever had, Division I college coaches coming through here because of Rylan. But I ask that question every time they come through. I said, hey, do you have to coach different because of the portal? And, about 85% of them said, yes, they did coach different because of the portal. Now, I couldn't see myself doing that, but I'm a kids coach. Kids like to play for me. I'm gonna get in that tail, but I'm gonna love on them too.
Right. So in Oklahoma, your home state, they've came up with one free transfer rule. And the one free transfer rule means an eligible student can file the proper paperwork and change schools once without sitting out or moving into the new district with no hardship or waiver necessary before July 15th. So I'm going to read a statement by the executive director, Davis Jackson. He said, we do feel like it's a proactive move with the climate of sports in general, especially what's going on at the collegiate level in regard to transfers and all. This is something that was inevitable and that it's working its way down to the high school level, but we feel like we can write it in a manner that doesn't necessarily create the situation that the NCAA is dealing with. So in Texas, you can't transfer.
Correct.
For athletic purposes.
Correct.
So even if you were to move districts, you still would have to sit out how many days?
Well, if you move into the district and the PAPF, that's a previous athletic participation form. If it's clean and the other school didn't say they moved for athletic purposes, then you got 10 days you have to be out, and then you're eligible after the PAPF is completed.
Well, Coach, I'm gonna let you go, man. It's been fun. I think Austin's ready to go home, and
last week we had a birthday.
I know we had a birthday. Is she cooking for you tonight?
No.
Are you cooking?
Oh yeah.
What are you cooking tonight?
We're gonna meal prep tonight. We're gonna do a little grilled chicken, a little pasta tonight. So it'll be for the rest of the week.
All right. Well, Coach, see you Friday night. Good
Yes,
luck.
Sir. Pleasure as always. Go Warriors.
Yes, sir. So after we get back from the break, we're going to cover one more thing. We're going to have Ryan Bowen with the Trailer Guys. They're going to be our business spotlight of the week. We'll be right back with you. But first, let me cover the Texas high school rankings with Dave Campbell's in the AP poll. It looks like, let me see who we got here. We got Ganado at 1, Refugio at 2, Honeygrove at 3, Timpson at 4, Stanford at 5. We almost ended up playing Stanford, didn't we?
We tried to make that happen. We, we had a little tough time finding games this year, and we called them. And I have a cousin that coaches in Cache, Oklahoma, and that was kind of a midway point for both of us. And we talked about meeting there and playing week 1, but anyway, it didn't happen. So,
well, I think they beat Albany pretty bad. I think it was like, what, 50 to 6. But, I mean, they don't have the likes of Adam Hill anymore.
Right.
You know, those guys. I think Adam Hill ended up going to play out at Texas Tech, and I think he's going to be contributing as a freshman.
Yeah.
I mean,
these small schools, they cycle. You know, they're going to have their good ones and their lean years also.
All right, well, Coach, we'll see you Friday night. Remember, we play in Royce City. I've seen this several times today. I just want to confirm. 7:30 Friday night.
7:30 kickoff Friday night in
Royce City.
Beautiful stadium.
All right, guys, we'll be right back with you. This is Scotty with Tomahawk Sports Media.
Guys, this is Ryan with the Trailer Guys. I've got exciting news for you today. We are going to be a CM truck bed dealer. We have lots of CM truck beds on the lot right now. We can get you taken care of. If you're interested in getting a quote today, give us a call at 903-989-5000. Ask for Warrior Ryan. We will get you taken care of. You can also view our website at thetrailerguys.com, view our CM truck bed inventory, and request a quote that way. So come see us at The Trailer Guys.
All right, welcome back. We're back with our business spotlight, business of the week. The Trailer Guys would like to welcome Ryan Bowen. He is the GM of the Trailer Guys. Ryan, welcome to the Shane Fletcher Show.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So, Ryan, tell us a little bit about the Trailer Guys. I know you guys are dedicated, offering a wide range of trailers for various needs, such as utility trailers, car haulers, dump trailers, equipment trailers, and more. Tell us a little bit more about the Trailer Guys, how that came about coming to Trenton, and what's your number one seller right now?
So we've been in Trenton probably for about 20 years or so. The actual guy that started it, he was on the trailer manufacturing side of things and wanted to move to the dealer side of things and started us up about 20 years ago. Been in Trenton probably for about 10 years or so. We function primarily as a trailer dealership, but we offer parts and service as well. We're also a truck upfitter, which basically means we can install CM truck beds, auxiliary fuel tanks. We also do like full front bumper replacements, rear bumper replacements, and things like that on trucks as well.
So everything that a person living in Fannin County would need.
Pretty much, yeah. We can do a truck flatbed. We can do a trailer. We can do airbags for the suspension on the truck, and we can do it all just in one stop.
That's awesome, man. That's really awesome. So you talked about some services. What are some? You threw me for a loop there because you kind of covered everything. But what is your bread and butter of the Trailer Guys?
So probably two trailers primarily right now. Dump trailers and flatbed or hotshot trailers. Those are always a big mover in Texas, especially being as close to Collin County as what we are. It's probably the fastest growing county in the United States, I want to say, or at least probably in the top 5, has been probably for the last 10 or 15 years. So we sell trailers that are perfect for that growth and the growth that's coming to Fannin County and Grayson County, and being hotshot trailers and dump trailers. We sell anything from non-CDL hotshot trailers, CDL hotshot trailers, and then dump trailers of all sizes as well. So
where can a guy like David Lopez order or request a quote on a new trailer?
So best thing to do is going to be going to our website, thetrailerguys.com. We've got 3 locations in Texas, one in Trenton, one in Big Springs, and one in Hallettsville. You can view the inventory at all 3 of those lots on our website, and then you can also get the phone number for whichever lot works out best for you. Give that number a call, get with the salesperson, and they will get you hooked up.
So what are some specials going on right now? You told me you got a lot of specials going on, but what is one in particular that you guys are running?
So we're running a special on everything. If it sells, it's going to be special. But we due to the growth, of Collin County and that kind of demand, we're really trying to run stuff on some roll-offs right now, which are going to be like a 16-foot trailer and a 16-foot roll-off bin. I think we're running that for $26,500 right now. They'd come with 3 bins and then the trailer. We're also doing some specials on CM truck beds. I think we're taking maybe $300 or $400 off of the install, so basically half off install. It's normally anywhere from $800 to $1,200, depending on the truck bed as well. That's something that we pretty much run every week, every day, every month.
Wow, that's awesome. So Ryan, you've helped out Greg and my wife down there at the putting the blow up, and can't thank you enough for that. But what has been your favorite moment thus far coming to Hunting Grove Warrior football games?
And there's a few already just from this season, just in a couple of scrimmages and the game against Hugo. I mean, the pick 6 that Levi Beavers had, that was a good one. I thought a big moment in that game against Hugo, I think it might have been the second quarter, and it was 4th down. We were on Hugo's about 45, and we broke the huddle, came out to play. Coach Fletcher called a timeout and went back out there again, and I think he hit Brody for about a 10-yard out route and got a first down, and I thought that was a defining moment of that game because if we wouldn't have converted that, that would have been a huge momentum swift, for Hugo to take advantage of that situation. And then obviously you've got Ryland's numerous, 40, 50, 60-yard catch and runs, or just where he's been running straight up the middle and broke it free. There's been numerous moments that have already shown you what this football team is about.
Absolutely, and I'm really excited about this season. Not just because it's we're ranked so high, but these kids. I'm sure you've known Levi and those guys for how long?
We moved next door to them about 3 years ago. So we
Right.
came into Honey Grove in 2021, 22,
Yeah.
and built a house next door out there. Those guys, and they've been great friends to us. Kind of welcome us to the community. I'm from Bonham originally, and so Honey Grove has always been a good neighbor of us, and we were good rivals back when I was in school. Always enjoyed scrimmage in Honey Grove and baseball and things like that.
Right.
Got to play against Hudson Milford, one of the coaches here for Honey Grove.
So were you a baseball guy?
I was a baseball guy.
So when we do the David Lopez show during baseball season, I expect you to be on there as well.
I'd be more than happy. I kind of want to try to give back, and luckily I work for a company that shares the same vision as what I have. I was a scholarship player, for baseball when I graduated, and it wouldn't have been possible without the support of my family and also the community, but also people that are doing the same thing that you're doing here. That's how you build a great athletic program, not just football, not just baseball, not just softball, but the whole thing. And so, just want to take a quick minute to say thank you for everything that you do for this program and for this community.
Thank you. I appreciate that. These guys are true to my heart, and me and Coach Lopez have had many conversations about our guys, and I don't think I've ever been around a group of coaches that love the boys as much as they do at Honey Grove, and I think same it goes for the girls. Having a daughter in high school, there's no doubt that those coaches don't love those girls as well. And so, we're really fortunate to be here in Honey Grove and have the support of the community and the coaches and the families every week. But Ron, if you can't see it, got our Trailer Guy shirts on. Coach Fletcher talked about that a while ago. I think he sees everybody with a shirt on, so that's a good sign. I enjoy it. I think I wear these more than I do my Clayton Holmes shirt. So
it's not a conflict of interest.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You guys build a totally. We don't call them trailers anymore, because to me that's the old school thinking. We build dreams.
Mm-hmm.
We build manufactured housing, right? So that's what we do. But Ryan, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your schedule.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And thank you for being our business spotlight of the week. After we get back, we're going to take a short break here. We're going to talk to head baseball coach, assistant football coach David Lopez about what's going on in Honey Grove and some old rivalries he had here. And we're glad he could take the time out of his schedule and join us. But we'll be right back we'll talk to Coach Lopez. All right, we're back live from Warrior Fieldhouse with Coach David Lopez and Jarrmez Daniels of the Honey Grove Warriors. Guys, thank you for joining us. Let me get this overlay off so everybody can see your beautiful faces. Awesome. All right, let me see, make sure that we got all of our volumes up here. Everybody here? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can.
All right, here we go. So, before we get started, I want to recognize a few guys. They are our Jake Shockley Week 1 Players of the Week. And the first one we got on offense is Marlin Morris, the junior running back, rushed for 105 yards with 3 touchdowns on 6 carries and had 1 reception for a 75-yard touchdown. And then on the defensive end, we got linebacker Levi Beavers. Senior linebacker had another great game to add to his resume. Beavers had 14 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 interception that he took back for 96 yards, and a forced fumble. And then joining us here tonight, we have Special Teams Player of the Week, Jarrmez Daniels. And Maz, man, I was looking at stats, and I guess nobody ever keeps up with special team stats.
Feels like it.
Because I was looking for a punt return, and then I was looking for an actual punt because you punted one, and I remember telling Zach, man, that's probably like 50-yard punt. I mean, that sucker was deep, man. But we'll go over your stats real quick. I think I was probably most impressed with your stats, Maz, just because you did it from all different angles this week. And not saying that Rylan or Levi didn't, but yours, I mean, you're the quarterback of the number 3 ranked team in 2A football. You went 5 for 10 for 103 yards with 1 touchdown. You also rushed for 46 yards and had 2-point conversion. You had a booming 50-yard punt, and then you had 4 tackles. So, I mean, that's a pretty impressive stat line for a 2A player. I mean,
yes, sir.
So, well, we're going to get going along here, and guys, thank you for being on the show. And Mez, we're going to really start with you, because I mean, you're the guy. Lopez ain't the guy.
Not the guy.
Nah.
So, we'll get you a little bit closer. We're still working out all the kinks on this. This is on week 2, right? So, Mez, you haven't played quarterback since 8th grade.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? And that was in Wolf City. And that was a game I remember Rylan actually got ejected from.
Targeting.
For I don't think it was a targeting. And then Paige actually got ejected from the game because she went crazy on him. But, you know, that's a game I remember. So how did it feel taking snaps Friday night? I mean, obviously you've been doing this since the spring. You've been doing the 7-on-7s and things like that. How's that transitioned over to putting pads on and having guys kind of trying to come take your head off?
Well, yeah, that part not so much, but it felt good being back there, you know, being back doing what I love.
Right. So you're a multiple sport athlete, right? I mean, just like many of your teammates. What helps you get focused for a big game?
Just really just chilling on my own, just staying away, you know, just being to myself, really.
Right. So we were talking about multiple sports. You play football, basketball, baseball, track. Which one do you really see yourself going to at the college level?
Probably baseball.
Baseball, yep. I mean, you were a district MVP or a pitcher of the year, right? You were a newcomer of the year. So, I mean, I can really see that. You went down to Texas, had a good camp down there, right? So, who's been one of your role models growing up as an athlete?
Role model? Have to say one of my brothers.
Got you. Well, Mez, thank you, bud. Thank you for being on. I'm not going to take a lot of your time because I know you got things to do, schoolwork to do, and you got other obligations. So we're going to move it on over to Coach David Lopez. I just butchered your name. I'm used to calling you D-Lo, but right. So, Coach, you've been in Honey Grove since the summer of 2020. You're the head baseball coach. You're the assistant football coach. You cover wide receivers. You help with DBs. There's some other stuff you listed off that you did, but you know you're a man of many traits and jobs and hats. And you know, what has been your experience coaching the Honey Grove Warriors?
Man, it's been an awesome ride. You know, these last 3 years going into year 4, and you know, each year has got different challenges. But the one thing that's been constant is these kids, man. You know, we're blessed as coaches to coach great kids. You know, kids that you really root for, kids that you want to fight for at every turn. And Brody's telling us to turn the mic up. I think is that close enough, Brody?
Yeah, that's close enough. There we go.
But it's been a blast, and you know, I don't feel like I come to work every day. You know, this is something that I love to do, and I can't believe that, you know, somebody hired me to coach kids like Mez and Brody and Levi and Asher and Kendall on a daily basis, and being around these programs and these great coaches and teachers and administrators, etc.
Because when you go home, I mean, you're still coaching. I mean, I have you on Twitter, and just like this week, you were putting Kendall's stuff out there, and I mean, you're always constantly putting our guys out there at the college level to get those guys that opportunity to go play at the next level. And I mean, your job is never done. I mean, that's one thing I could say about you. You're constantly working to get these guys to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important, you know, for these guys, you know, to see that a coach is fighting for them to help live out their dreams and stuff like that. They work so hard for us. The least I can do is do what I can with the small platform I have and try to get their name out to everybody I can. Hopefully they can continue their career at the next level.
So talking about careers, you sent me this picture last night because I'd found one, right?
Yeah.
Old Monty over there at the Howell, whatever it's called.
The Howell Enterprise.
Howell Enterprise, man. He's like the connoisseur of Howell athletics as far as stats go. I mean, it's like Chase Banker.
Very similar, yeah.
So you have played for Coach Mack and Coach Fletcher for your alma mater, the Howell Bulldogs. Has their coaching styles changed since you played for them? Now you're side by side with them on Friday nights?
You know, being a player, you get to see one side of them, right? And as far as the energy that they bring on a daily basis and their personalities and all that, their coaching style, it's like I never, you know, it's like I woke up the next morning and I was with them again. So it hasn't changed, but getting to see them, you know, behind the closed coach's door, you know, and getting to see the man that they are, has been awesome for me. You know, Coach Fletcher and Coach Mack will always be guys that I look up to, you know, not just as husbands, as fathers, but as, you know, professional coaches and somebody that I strive to be on a daily basis.
So let's talk about you playing against Honey Grove in high school.
Okay.
Mez, I don't know if you knew this or not, but he played against Honey Grove in high school, went 0-2, I believe.
Yes, sir.
So what can you remember about those games?
You know, I remember two really good-looking kids in the backfield, a little bit of a spread offense, and just ran zone read us all day, and we could not stop them.
Now, you told me a name last night. Buster Finney,
yes,
right? Yeah. I mean, he was a dude. I mean, he started as a freshman. I mean, he was a freshman when I was a senior, and I mean, he'd flat run over you.
Yeah, no, he was a really good player. You guys had another guy in the backfield that was for against us anyway was equally as good, and you know, they just sat back there and waited on us to pick one, and whichever one we picked, we were wrong, and they just went around the outside or went around right up the middle and did what they could.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of audio difficulties, right? So we'll let Drew go back in there. Drew, go listen to it. Make sure you can hear Coach Lopez. I don't know. It's something about these mics. I don't know. We'll get there.
Yeah, it's finicky. It's all right.
So I can really hear you now.
Yeah.
We'll wait for Drew to come out, but we'll go ahead and move on to the next question. So who's had the biggest impact on you as a you know, from a coaching aspect?
There's been so many. You know, I've been blessed to work for some really, really good head coaches and coordinators in my 9 years, 10 years now. But, you know, we go back to Larry McFarland and Shane Fletcher, and you know, those guys, the way that they coached me and the environment they created when I was at Howe. You know, whenever I was, you know, in my deepest of ruts and not knowing what I wanted to do with my life, I always leaned on those years, and I decided, hey, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to do the same for young men and be somebody they can look to at hard times. And so those two guys are somebody that, you know, that has really helped me along, and somebody I always look up to.
Well, you know, I mean, I've worked with a few guys, or there's a few guys from Leonard that's came through Clayton where I work, and, you know, that's what they tell you. Well, Coach Fletcher was not just a coach to them. I mean, he was a friend, he was a mentor, and, you know, they all speak highly of him. I think one of them, Lionel, I think he cooked for his wedding.
Right.
Coach Fletcher did. So, I mean, just to have the relationship with the players like those two guys do, you know, I can only hope that my kids will have that relationship, and I know they do with you guys, and you know, and hopefully my youngest, you know, will have that relationship.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
You know, we talked about a while ago, you're the wide receivers coach, helps out with the DBs. What else do you do to help support the other coaches?
You know, whatever needs to be done. We have our daily tasks and things like that, and whatever Coach Fletcher needs. But, man, what we do as coaches is we coach. You know, and that's something that Coach Fletcher's always allowed us to do as assistants is be the head coach of our positions. You know, he bestows a little bit more responsibility on me to kind of run the skill guys. You know, me and Coach Milford down there while he's working with the linemen. So half the practice, it's, you know, a couple of coaches running basically half the offense. You know, and that's a blessing. That shows trust and things like that in myself, and I greatly appreciate it. But anything that needs to be done, you know, offensive game planning, you know, drawing stuff up, being devil's advocate when we're on the board, you know, those things when we're game planning are, you know, what I try to bring to the table.
I mean, I've seen you run scout team QB.
Hey, that's once Hudson got here, that was over with. I'll throw some 7-on-7, but my scout team QB days are over. I'll throw Mez in there before I'll throw myself in there.
So how has coaching football transitioned over to baseball?
Man, I said this the first year that I got a head coaching job, or I'm sorry, a assistant coaching job over in Durant. You know, a good coach can learn and coach any sport, but what you don't learn, what you don't understand is what it takes to be a good head coach. And I go back to what Coach Fletcher does so well. He lets his assistant coaches coach and be the head coach of their position, and that's what I kind of take into what I do with the head baseball job. Is, you know, I was blessed to have Shane Brown for my first 2 years, a great baseball mind, and I let him do his thing. You know, didn't step on toes and things like that, and it paid, you know, dividends for us. And now that Coach Daniels is here, you know, I kind of do the same, and with my second assistant, you know, just kind of teach them the game and show them the ways that I know. It's not, you know, it's not always everyone else's way, but kind of showing them my outlook on baseball and how to attack teams and things like that.
So this wasn't on your questionnaire.
All right.
I'm going to throw some stuff out there too.
There you go.
So I mean, has this gone in effect that we could go a different route in the playoffs in baseball?
Yes. So I'm currently, we have our district meeting tomorrow, and I'm currently trying to make a schedule for that 10-team district and write up district minutes. But looking at the UIL and how they divided it up is your top 4 teams, your playoff eligible teams, will be divided into 2 groups. 2 of them will go big school as the 1 and 2 seed, and 2 of them will go small school as the 1 and 2 seed. So in Class 2A, there's going to be 2 state champions. You know, they do the same thing in football, but they district those teams together. In baseball, they're not going to district those teams together. We'll just separate the districts out.
So that'll kind of that'll be the same way in basketball as well. Is that
Yes.
Right. So we'll never see the likes of Collinsville in the playoffs.
No, you know, unless I don't know what the enrollment numbers are in scenarios like that. But you know, there are some bigger schools in this district for sure. So the likelihood of seeing a Collinsville in the playoffs is.
Well, I sit there and said that we're going to play them.
Well,
they're in our district.
Yeah, they're district opponents.
Yeah.
So we got them twice, man. So
we'll see them twice, but I mean the likelihood of facing them down the road in the playoffs is probably not going to be there.
It's pretty slim. Yeah.
So, well, what has been a pregame ritual that you have done with the guys?
You know, I have something that I do with the players, and it's nothing big, man. I'm not a big superstitious guy, ritual guy, but I got something I do with the players, and it's something I do with the coaches, and it's very similar. So before, at 6:05, we take skill kids out. We do, punt, kickoff, return, catch some balls, kick some field goals, things like that, get stretched out. And, man, that's my time where I've got those guys to myself. I love giving them just a tiny little inspirational speech. Okay, I always try to dial something up. But, man, I can really tell the pulse of our team as they walk through, giving each one of them a high five. I feel the intensity and the focus in their hand, as we high five. And, man, that fires me up, gets the goosebumps going, gets the blood going, and we're rolling. And then with the coaches, I always go up to the box about 15 to 20 minutes prior to kickoff. And, man, this started with Ray Richards. He was always really big over in Durant, my head coach there, of giving knuckles to every single coach before we left out. And that's something I've carried on everywhere. And, that's also, I get to see the focus and the intensity, with our coordinators and our assistant coaches just fired up. Just giving them a little fist bump and going about my way and getting ready to do what I can to help get a win.
I already know this answer, but who's probably the most fired up coach on Friday nights?
Man, listen, it's Larry McFarland.
I was going to say Wiggins.
Hey, Wiggins had there's a room full of guys that get fired up, man. But on a consistent basis, Larry McFarland, for being the oldest coach on staff, that sucker has got more energy than I do, and he's 30 years older than I am.
I'm going to tell you, we were up in the box the other night calling the game, and it was on Asher's scoop and score. And I see this thing go in the air, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's his hat.
Yep.
He throws his hat up probably 40 yards. I thought it was a clipboard.
Yeah, no, hat, man. I think if I tried to do that, I'd throw my shoulder out.
Right.
But he's high energy all the time. He's all go.
Right. So what has been a memorable or funny story from your coaching career at Honeygrove?
Man, it kind of involves Brody, but not necessarily. So we get back from a tournament, and a couple of our guys didn't do the homework assignment that they thought they were going to miss. But we got back a little early from this tournament game. And I told them, I said, hey, you guys need to make sure you get back in your classrooms. Well, there was only about 5 or 6 minutes left of that class that they didn't do the homework for, and they decided to go hide out in the bathroom. Well, I get a phone call asking where my players are, and I ask who they are. And I'm not going to name names. They know who they are. So we get all that handled, and we go out to practice, and I've got the whole team up there. And this is a moment right here where I've got to really show them what we're about, And I'm talking calmly, and then I get fired up, and they're a little startled. But my whole speech was, this who do you think you are? What have you done for Honeygrove? You're a freshman, blah blah blah. All coach stuff, right? And man, the look that they gave me, I'll never forget, because the look they gave me was, Coach, just wait. That's the look I got. That's the attitude I got. I didn't get any lip. They ran their W's without any complaint. And, man, they still talk about it to this day. And we're talking about, a group of kids that's going to go down as some of the winningest high school players, through all sports in Honeygrove history. And, at the end of the day, when they're holding up all the trophies that they've won through district championships, playoff games, they're going to be like, Coach, this is what we did.
Yeah. I remember that day.
I think Brody missed the W's that day. I think he had something going on, and he wasn't there for the after practice.
I'm sure I made it up with him at some part of his life.
No doubt.
So, well, guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedules. I know, Maz, you got the girlfriend. She's probably waiting on you, right?
Not right now, actually.
Not tonight. Okay. Coach Lopez, also congratulations on baby girl.
Yes, Lila Rose.
So, well, guys, we're gonna take a small break and be back with what I call Honeygrove Warrior football royalty. All right, welcome back to Tomahawk Sports Media. We're going to wrap it up with what I call Honey Grove Warrior royalty or dynasty. Garrett's laughing, but I love it, and this group of boys is, we've all coached a lot of games together. And Chase, you've had the privilege of going on and coaching these guys in high school, but dads, how much pride do you have seeing your boys play together on Friday nights?
Oh, man, we have a lot. Man, it's basically all we talk about all year long. It's really gonna be a void in our life once it's all over, man. But it's been a blast, pretty good journey.
So Chase, do you ever take the coach hat off and put on the uncle or dad hat?
Yeah, there's times, especially when one of them gets banged up or something like that. That's kind of when the coaching hat comes off, because I feel like there's nothing wrong with them anyway. A coach will come by and say, hey, Mason's knee's hurt, and I just tell him, look, he's hurt always. Something's always wrong with him. He's going to play through it. So don't worry about it. But that's normally when that happens.
So what's pretty cool, boys, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this picture, but I got a picture of your dad and your uncle all on the same team. And you sent me a text last night, and you said this was a really bad team, right?
Yeah, I think we only won three games that year.
Right.
Yeah.
So how cool is it to know that all five of you have donned the orange and white?
Oh, it's real nice, Just always have somebody there, somebody with you by your side. You know they'll be by your side.
Right. So Tate, you received an offer to go play football at Howard Payne over the summer. How does that feel, knowing that you can add your name to the next list of bankers, just like your cousin Justin, to go on and play college football?
Oh, it feels good. I'm just honored to have the opportunity to play at the next level and just see how it goes.
So, Mason, you were Defensive Newcomer of the Year. You had over 150 tackles. How fun was it playing for Coach Mack?
It's pretty fun. And since Coach Mack came in, my new defense, all the new defenses we've gone through, it's always fun, just learning new stuff, and he's just taught me a lot more.
So where did the nickname Rocky come from?
Well, like Chase said, I do take a lot of hits, and like Rocky, he always gets up.
That's awesome. And then Brady, you were second-team All-District tackle for the Warriors the last two seasons. How fun has it been playing with your brother and your cousin on Friday nights?
I think it's awesome. I've grown up with them so much. I get to play the same football team all the same years.
So how cool is it for you and Tate knowing that you get to block for a four-star guy every Friday night?
Oh, it's nice to know we got. Yeah, it's nice to know we got somebody that'll cover up if we get some bad blocks or something like that.
So Garrett, you have you work the chains for the Warriors on Friday nights.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I got this question, and we got to censor it a little bit, okay? What has been the craziest thing that you've heard on Friday nights that you can repeat on the show?
Man, I hear a lot of stuff every year, every game. It gets pretty wild and intense, but what really gets me is when them coaches are down there and they're going nuts, and because they can't move the ball against their defense. I mean, that really, it makes me laugh hearing a lot of that and seeing that. So, but yeah, I hear a lot of crazy stuff. I ain't gonna repeat it though.
Right. So Garrett, you and Chase were this group of boys probably their first coach. Right. What does this group mean to you? Not just with your kiddos, but what does this group mean to you?
Man, it means a lot to me. It really does. I mean, I got to basically relive those kind of glory days through them, coaching them and just getting to see them, grow and develop and become good young men. It's good to just kind of follow them through. And if anybody ever gets a chance to coach Pee Wee or Little League baseball or whatever, I mean, they ought to try it out because, I mean,
well, hey, we got practice
good
tonight, so if you guys want to go practice with my group, you're more than welcome to step over there. And so, Chase, you're kind of the historian of Honey Grove Athletics. So, I mean, if I ever got a question, I'm texting you.
Yep.
So what stat is one that probably no one knows?
All right, one stat is Mr. Gene Hodges has the career or the single season receiving touchdown record, 21 receiving touchdowns back in 1934. But also, what some of maybe the older listeners may still remember these guys, but that 69 quarterfinal champion team had 2 All-State running backs, Jerry Gray and Fred Patterson. All right, both of them were All-State that year on that team, and on the same team with them was Charles Malicote.
Wow. Our Cattlemen's Livestock Commission sponsor.
There you go.
Right. So Chase, how's it been coaching your son and your nephews?
Man, it's been great. I've been blessed to be able to come over here and be able to coach them. Started at Fannondale, tried to make my way over here as fast as I can. I've only not coached them one football season, so it's been great to have that opportunity to be around them and all the boys in our program. Most of them I've coached since, they were in grade school, and we had a lot of wins back then. Yep. But the best thing I think we taught them was how to compete and win ball games and stay in tight games.
Absolutely. So, guys, we're going to play a quick game real quick, okay? And so, between you three, who is the most competitive?
We all three are pretty competitive when it comes to anything.
Probably Mason.
Mason? Okay. Who's the most laid back?
I'd say all of us are pretty laid back.
Right. Who's the most social?
Tate.
Who's the better singer?
I don't know if any of us have heard each other sing.
Who has the best style? It's got to be Tate.
I don't know.
Right. And hey, this is for everybody. Who knows the most cheers?
I probably know 2 or 3. 2 bits, 4 bits, 16 bits $1 or something. I don't know. 8 bits $1.
Orange and white, attack.
There you go. So both parents are cheerleader sponsors. We got Paige, I believe, is the middle school cheer sponsor. Val is the high school, and so there's Honeygrove football. I mean Honeygrove, just in this family's DNA, and so last question, guys. Okay. This will be the last season you guys playing together. Other than winning a state championship, what is something you guys want to achieve this year? You've won multiple Super Bowls. You've won district championships in middle school. What would be the icing on the cake? And so I took the hard answer out. I already knew that.
I don't think we want nothing less than that.
Yeah.
That's really what we're going for now.
That's awesome. So I guess I got to quit asking what the goal is, because the goal is always going to be to win a state championship. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Boys, I've had the great pleasure of watching you guys grow up. Chase, Garrett, you guys have done a hell of a job. I'm going to say that. Hell of a job raising these boys. They're respectful. I love watching them on Friday night. I really love it when Tate gets peed off and he goes after it, and Chase has got to go out there and get him, or Brady's on a block and look up, and he's giving some Generation X.
Oh, my goodness.
That's probably one of my favorites. But, guys, thank you for joining us, and you've grown into some great young men and athletes, and good luck this Friday night and this football season.
Thanks for having us, Scotty.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
So moving along, we're going to talk about the student section. Make sure you wear your favorite Hawaiian or surf shirt Friday night to wipe out the Bulldogs. And then I want to thank one of our new sponsors, Rapid Relief Mobile IV. Wes came over to Honeygrove last week and gave Brody an IV before the Hugo game, and last year he came over a few times and gave the boys a mobile IV when it was really hot. The boys never cramped up during the really hot months, and if you know my kids sweat a lot, and I can honestly say I never worried about cramps, and they accept all FSAs, HSA cards, so ask them about group discounts for parties and events, and give Wes a call today to 214-704-0301. And thank you guys for being a sponsor of Tomahawk Sports Media. So Friday night, we got the game in Royce City at 7:30 against the Marlin Bulldogs. Come on out and join us. If not, you can follow us on Tomahawk Sports Media. We'll be there broadcasting live from the game. But that's going to wrap up today's podcast. Guys, thank you for joining us. Like Gervie says, for